The morning sun spilled its golden light across the quiet streets of the Andromeda Reach colony. The air carried a faint scent of alien flora, a mix of sweet and sharp, unique to this distant settlement. Alex Soren leaned against the railing of his small home, enjoying the calm before the day began in earnest. It was rare for him to have a moment like this. Days usually started early with maintenance work, repair tasks, or troubleshooting some piece of advanced technology. But today, he had planned nothing. That quiet was broken by the soft hum of hover boots on the pathway. Alex looked up and saw his neighbor approaching. Dr. Alara Voss moved with an effortless grace, her long coat brushing the ground lightly, and her hair tucked neatly behind her ears. She carried a small bag, which clinked faintly with the sound of metal tools or vials inside. "Good morning, Alex," she called out, a gentle smile on her face. "I hate to bother you, but my gate isn't working properly." Alex pushed himself upright, curiosity piqued. The gate she referred to was no ordinary fence. It was a high-tech, energy-based security barrier. It's designed to detect threats and secure the property from intruders, both human and alien. It wasn't something most neighbors would attempt to repair themselves. But Alex had always been good with machines. "I can take a look," he said casually. "What exactly is happening?" Alara hesitated for a moment, as if weighing how much to reveal. It doesn't open like it should," she said finally. "Sometimes it reacts slowly, other times it locks completely. I've checked the manual systems and power sources, it all seems normal. I thought maybe it just needs your human touch." She gave a small laugh. "You have a talent for seeing what machines won't tell you." Alex smiled at the compliment but waved it off. "Machines don't lie, but people make them tricky. Show me." They walked together to her home, a sleek building of metal and glass, with gardens filled with bioluminescent plants that glowed faintly under the sunlight. The gate itself shimmered in a pale blue, humming softly as it detected movement and projected a faint energy shield in front of it. Alex noticed immediately that the hum was irregular, like a heartbeat that skipped beats. He crouched down to examine the lower panel, where wires twisted together in a careful, precise pattern. At first glance, everything seemed normal, but his instincts told him otherwise. "This isn't just a simple malfunction," he murmured to himself. He pressed his hand lightly to the panel, feeling the vibrations and subtle feedback. "There's something odd here. Maybe a small error in the system, or—" He trailed off, frowning as he detected an unusual energy signature running through the wires. It was weak, but it was not natural. Alara frowned. "Odd? How odd?" Alex straightened and met her gaze. "It's subtle, but I'm sensing a pattern. Something that doesn't belong to normal colony tech?" He paused, scanning the panel again. "Almost like something is trying to communicate with it." Lara's eyes widened slightly. "You mean someone is hacking it?" Alex shook his head. "Not exactly. This isn't human-made. Whatever it is, it's not from our systems." Ilara's expression became serious. "I see. That might explain why it's been acting strangely." She glanced around, ensuring no one was nearby. "I've been studying a small alien probe recently found near the colony's edge. I thought it was inactive, but maybe." Her voice trailed off. Alex looked at her, intrigued. "Maybe it's connected to the probe?" She nodded slowly. "Possibly. I didn't want to alarm anyone, so I kept it under observation. But if it's interacting with my gate, we might need to act quickly." Alex's mind raced. Alien technology was unpredictable. Some probes were harmless, while others could manipulate systems in ways humans couldn't anticipate. He ran his fingers along the panel, feeling the tiny pulses of energy. "If it is connected," he said, "we need to understand it before it causes more problems." "I'll help you," Alara smiled, relieved. "Thank you, Alex. I didn't know who else to ask." For the next hour, Alex worked on the gate, carefully analyzing each circuit, testing its responses, and mapping the energy signatures he detected. He noticed subtle fluctuations in the hum, small changes that suggested the gate was adapting or responding to something outside its immediate environment. "This is strange," Alex muttered. "It's almost as if the gate itself is alive, sensing something we can't see." Lara peered over his shoulder. Could it be reacting to the probe? Maybe it recognizes the energy pattern. Could be, Alex replied. But that means the probe isn't just inert. It's active, and it's trying to communicate with systems we use every day. That's dangerous. If it figures out how to control technology, it could be stopped. Realizing the implication, Alara placed a hand on his arm. I know. That's why I need your help. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, they worked together in silence, their focus intense. Alex adjusted circuits, rerouted energy flows, and installed temporary safeguards to prevent any sudden activation. Alara monitored readings from her portable device, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the screen. Finally, Alex stepped back, wiping sweat from his brow. I think I've stabilized it. For now, but we need to keep monitoring. If that probe tries anything else, we'll see it immediately. Lara nodded. I owe you more than thanks, Alex. You've saved the house and possibly more. He shrugged, a faint smile playing on his lips. I just like fixing things. And sometimes helping a neighbor isn't such a bad way to spend a morning. Alara's smile widened. Well, I insist you deserve a little extra reward for this. Alex raised an eyebrow, curious. Oh, and what kind of reward are we talking about? Alara reached into her bag and pulled out a small metallic object glowing faintly. It was smooth, shaped like a palm-sized disc. This is something I've been studying. A small alien device that enhances the user's abilities temporarily. I thought it was too complex to use. Until now. For you, as thanks for your help, I want you to try it. Alex took the disc carefully, feeling a slight vibration under his fingertips. I don't usually accept gifts for doing what's right. Alara shook her head. This isn't just a gift. It's recognition. Humans have a way of thinking outside the box, solving problems other species might never even notice. I think you deserve it. He looked at her, understanding the significance. Humans had always adapted, innovated, and overcome challenges through creativity and resilience. And now, standing here, faced with technology far beyond what the colony normally encountered, Alex realized that his skills, human ingenuity, were exactly what was needed. All right, he said finally, tucking the disc into his pocket. I'll try it. Eventually, but for now, let's keep an eye on the gate. I have a feeling this isn't the last problem we'll see today. Alara smiled, relieved, and stepped back from the gate. Agreed, and thank you again, Alex. I couldn't have done this without you. The morning passed with quiet determination. Birds or something like them chirped softly in the alien trees nearby, and the colony continued its day without apparent disturbance. But Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the unusual energy signature in the gate was only the beginning of something much larger, something that might test humans' ingenuity and courage in ways he had never imagined. For now, he focused on the work at hand, understanding the mysterious connection between the gate and the alien probe. Every wire, every pulse of energy, every subtle fluctuation mattered. And with Alara by his side, he felt a sense of quiet confidence. Humans had always adapted, always found solutions. And Alex knew that whatever came next, he would meet it head-on, one careful, thoughtful step at a time. After the initial repair of the gate, Alex Soren returned to his small workshop, a compact room filled with tools, spare circuits, and half-finished projects. The soft hum of machinery surrounded him as he ran diagnostics on the components he had temporarily stabilized. Even though the gate appeared to be working normally now, a sense of unease lingered in his mind. Something about the energy patterns he had sensed earlier was unfamiliar, almost alive. The colony outside hummed with its usual activity. Hover vehicles glided smoothly along magnetic tracks, and the streets bustled with humans and other settlers alike. But Alex barely noticed. His attention was fixed on the readings from the gate panel, which he had brought back for closer examination. Every time he connected the device to his diagnostic scanner, he could see subtle fluctuations in the energy signature, tiny pulses that seemed almost like a heartbeat. He frowned. It shouldn't be doing this, he muttered. Alien technology was unpredictable, but even the most advanced probes rarely interacted with human systems so directly. This one, however, had left a clear mark. Alex ran his fingers along the panel again, feeling the faint vibrations. Then he remembered Ilara's words about the probe she had been studying. It was small, disc-shaped, and found near the edge of the colony, far beyond the usual human territory. She had assumed it was inactive, but the gate's behavior suggested otherwise. Curiosity and concern mingled in his mind. If the probe was trying to communicate with the colony's systems, even indirectly, it could pose a serious risk. Alex decided he needed more data. He grabbed his portable analyzer and headed to Ilara's home. The morning sun was now high in the sky, casting sharp shadows along the streets. Ilara was already in her lab when he arrived, adjusting the settings on a holographic display that projected the probe schematics. "You're back sooner than I expected," she said, glancing at him. "Did you find anything unusual?" Alex placed the gate panel on the table and connected it to her system. "Yes," he said. "The energy pattern is alien, but it's interacting with human technology in a way I've never seen before. Look at this." He pointed to the pulsing waveform on the screen. Ilara leaned closer. "That's very interesting. The probe wasn't supposed to be active. I thought it had been dormant for at least 2 years." Alex frowned. "Dormant or not, it's sending signals. It might be testing the colony's defenses or even learning from them." Ilara's eyes widened. "Learning? You mean it could adapt?" "Exactly," Alex replied. "It's subtle, but intelligent. It knows how to interact with our systems, how to bypass simple protocols. If we're not careful, it could get past other safeguards." A tense silence filled the room as both considered the implications. Then Ilara spoke, her voice calm but firm. "We need to study it carefully. We have to understand what it wants and how it operates. If it's trying to communicate, we might be able to respond safely before it becomes a real threat." Alex nodded. "Agreed. But first we need to know how far it can reach. The gate was just one system. If it's capable of influencing multiple systems at once..." He didn't finish the thought. The consequences were obvious. Ilara pulled up a series of holographic maps, showing the colony's layout and key technological nodes. "I'll help you track it. We can set up sensors at critical points. If it tries to interfere elsewhere, we'll catch it." Over the next few hours, they worked together methodically. Alex examined the gate's energy signature in detail, mapping its frequency and amplitude. Ilara compared the readings with the probe's known specifications. The patterns were subtle but consistent, confirming their suspicions. The probe was actively testing human systems, seeking weaknesses and observing responses. "This is remarkable," Ilara said, her tone a mix of fascination and concern. "It's like it's learning from us. It's observing human ingenuity, human behavior, and adapting its approach." Alex chuckled lightly, despite the seriousness of the situation. "Well, humans do have a reputation for problem solving. Maybe it's discovering just how clever we can be." Ilara smiled faintly. "I suppose that's one way to look at it. But we can't underestimate it. Even a small alien device can have far-reaching consequences." Just then, the gate panel emitted a sharp pulse, and the waveform on the screen spiked dramatically. Alex jumped back, alarmed. "It's testing us again. See that? It's sending a stronger signal through the panel." Ilara nodded, adjusting the sensors. "We need to isolate it. If it gets into the colony's main systems, it could cause chaos. Power grids, communication networks. Even life support it could interfere with anything that's connected electronically." Alex's hands moved quickly, rerouting circuits and setting temporary shields. The pulse continued for a few seconds before fading, leaving a residual energy pattern that Alex immediately analyzed. "It's clever," he said, shaking his head. "It's learning how we respond and adjusting. Every move we make, it watches and adapts." Ilara looked at him, admiration in her eyes. "That's why I wanted you here. Your ability to think outside the normal protocols, it's exactly what we need. Most people would panic or try to shut it down blindly. You analyze, adapt, and respond logically." Alex shrugged, slightly embarrassed by the praise. "I just fix problems. That's all." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "No, Alex. This is more than fixing problems. This is human intuition, creativity, and resilience in action. And right now, It might be the only thing that can stop the probe from causing real damage. For the next few hours, they carefully monitored the panel, observing every pulse, every minor fluctuation. The probe's signals were faint but persistent, like a soft tapping at the edges of their perception. Alex realized that the probe was almost playful in its approach, testing limits, waiting for reactions, learning from mistakes. Finally, as evening approached, Alex leaned back, exhausted but satisfied with their progress. We've mapped most of its behavior for today. We know how it interacts with the gate, and we've set up tracking for any new signals. That's as far as we can go for now. Alara nodded. Agreed, but this is only the beginning. We need to prepare for the possibility that it will try something more aggressive. Alex's mind raced with possibilities. The probe could interfere with other systems, spread its influence, or even attempt to reach the colony's central AI network. Humans were resilient, yes, but they had never faced an entity that could learn and adapt so quickly. He glanced at Alara, who was already organizing her data, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they had uncovered something extraordinary. And while the probe posed a threat, it also highlighted an important truth: human ingenuity, adaptability, and courage were qualities that no alien device could easily overcome. As night fell, the colony lights glowed softly, and the alien flora in the gardens cast a faint luminescence across the streets. Alex returned to his home, carrying the gate panel carefully. He set it on his workbench, still buzzing faintly with the probe's energy. Sitting down, he considered the events of the day. A simple request to fix a neighbor's gate had revealed a mystery far larger than he could have imagined. The alien probe was no ordinary machine. It was intelligent, observant, and capable of learning from humans. And yet, for the first time, Alex felt a sense of excitement amid the danger. Humans had always faced challenges, adapting to environments, inventing solutions, and overcoming obstacles. This probe, in its strange, silent way, was testing that resilience. And Alex knew that, with careful planning, creativity, and teamwork, they could meet the challenge head-on. He looked at the glowing panel and smiled faintly. Tomorrow would bring new tests, new puzzles to solve. But one thing was certain: humans had a way of rising to the occasion, no matter the odds. And as the colony settled into quiet night, a tiny pulse from the gate echoed faintly through Alex's workshop, reminder that the probe was still watching, still learning, and that the real challenge had only just begun. The next morning, the colony of Andromeda Reach awoke to its usual rhythm. Hover vehicles glided along magnetic tracks, and settlers moved busily through the streets. Yet, inside her laboratory, Dr. Alara Voss worked silently, monitoring every readout from the alien probe. The faint hum from the gate panel on Alex Soren's workbench filled the room, subtle reminder that the probe was still active. Alex entered the lab, carrying his tools and a notebook filled with observations. "Morning," he said softly. "Did it do anything strange overnight?" Alara shook her head. "Nothing major. But the energy readings are consistent. It's still sending signals, probing our systems. I think it's learning at an even faster rate than yesterday." Alex frowned. "Yesterday it was subtle. Today, it might try something bigger. We need to prepare for that." They began running simulations, using the colony's secondary systems to test how the probe might react. Alex connected several devices to a secure network isolated from the colony's main systems. He watched the readings carefully. Every time the probe sent a signal, he adjusted the circuits, rerouted power flows, and set small barriers to contain it. "It's adapting," Alex said, his voice tense but focused. "Every time we block one path, it finds another. It's not just testing the gate anymore, it's testing human responses." Lara leaned over his shoulder, her eyes narrowing. "Do you think it could reach the colony's main systems?" Alex shook his head slowly. "Not if we're careful. But if it manages to bypass these protections, it could interfere with power grids, communication channels, maybe even life support in the central habitat." Lara's face grew serious. "We can't let that happen. Not just for the colony, but for the research here. Some of the work we do is sensitive alien specimens, experimental energy systems. It could all be compromised. Alex nodded, understanding the stakes. Then we need to act before it escalates. They spent the morning setting up a network of sensors across the colony, strategically placing them in areas the probe might target next. Every device had a small monitoring program designed to detect the probe signals and alert them immediately. By noon, they had a working network, and the readings began to come in. The probe was indeed testing other systems, sending faint pulses through streetlights, transportation nodes, and even small environmental monitors. It moved methodically, carefully, almost as if it were learning how humans structure their technology. Alex watched a particularly strong pulse move across his monitoring screen. There, he said, pointing. It just tried to send a signal through the transportation grid. If it succeeds, it could slow hover vehicles, create false readings, or even reroute traffic. Alara adjusted her sensors. We need to isolate it before it causes any disruption. Can we create a trap? Alex's eyes lit up with determination. Yes, we'll need to lure it into a system we control completely. Then we can neutralize it or at least contain it long enough to understand its programming. They set up a mock network in the lab, replicating the colony's key systems in miniature. Alex connected the gate panel, a few environmental sensors, and even a simulated transport line. Then he created a subtle energy pattern designed to mimic the vulnerabilities the probe had been testing. It's bait, Alex explained. We make it think it can infiltrate, but it will actually be entering our controlled system. We'll see what it does, and we can study it safely. Lara nodded. Good. Let's begin. Activated the simulated network. Almost immediately, the probe responded. A faint pulse moved through the connections, probing each device carefully. Alex and Alara watched as the energy flowed like water, searching for weaknesses. It's smart, Alara whispered. It's analyzing, learning from our patterns in real time. Alex adjusted a few circuits, redirecting the probe's signal into a containment loop. Got it. It's trapped. Temporarily, but it's trying to adapt. The probe's pulses intensified, small sparks of energy running across the containment network. Alex's hands flew over the controls, adjusting barriers, rerouting feedback loops, and monitoring the probe's reactions. It's persistent, he muttered. Every time we block one path, it finds another. But humans are persistent too. Alara smiled faintly. Yes, we are. And sometimes persistence makes the difference between failure and success. Hours passed as they carefully tested the probe's abilities. They discovered that it could manipulate electronic systems subtly, but it struggled with human logic and unpredictability. Each time they introduced a problem, the probe could not anticipate. It paused, recalculated, and attempted a new approach. This is incredible, Alex said, leaning back for a moment. It's like it's learning, but it's still limited. Human creativity throws it off. We just need to stay one step ahead, Lara nodded. Then let's make sure we stay ahead. We'll monitor, we'll adapt, and we'll prevent it from reaching the colony's main systems. Just as Alex was about to respond, an alert sounded from one of the remote sensors. A strong energy pulse had moved through a section of the colony not connected to their mock network. Alex's face tightened. It's testing other systems outside our trap. It's bold, and getting closer to something important. Lara checked her screens. We need to act quickly. If it infiltrates the power grid or communication hub, it could cause chaos. Alex grabbed his tools and ran to the nearest sensor hub. Alara followed, carrying her portable analyzer. Together, they worked quickly, setting up additional barriers and redirecting the probe's signal into containment channels. The probe resisted, sending sharp pulses and small bursts of energy. Alex's hands moved quickly over the controls, rerouting feedback loops to confuse the alien intelligence. Alara adjusted the frequency of the containment field, creating a barrier the probe could not penetrate. It's strong, Alex said through gritted teeth. But we're stronger. We just need to stay focused. Minutes felt like hours as they battled the probe's adaptive intelligence. Each pulse was countered, each attempt blocked. Finally, the energy spikes began to subside. and the probe's signal weakened in the containment loop. Alara breathed a sigh of relief. We did it. For now. It's contained, at least temporarily? Alex nodded, exhaustion and relief mixing in his expression. Yes, but it's learning. We can't underestimate it. Tomorrow, it might try a different approach. Alara smiled faintly, admiration in her eyes. Humans have a way of meeting challenges, Alex. We may not be as fast as machines, but we're adaptable, creative, and persistent. That's what makes us strong. Alex chuckled softly, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. And sometimes the best solution isn't just technology. It's thinking like a human, understanding patterns, and staying one step ahead. They returned to the lab, monitoring the probe through their containment system. The faint pulses still moved through the network, but for now, it had been neutralized. The colony continued its daily routines outside, unaware of the near disaster averted by two humans willing to think, adapt, and act quickly as evening approached. Alex reflected on the day's events. A simple request to repair a gate had revealed a complex and intelligent alien presence. The probe had tested human systems, but humans had responded with ingenuity, teamwork, and determination. He glanced at Alara, who was organizing data from their containment system and felt a deep sense of confidence. Together, it faced the threat and shown that human intuition and creativity could overcome even advanced alien intelligence. And yet, in the quiet hum of the lab, Alex knew this was only the beginning. The probe had learned from them, adapted to their strategies. It might return stronger and more cunning. But one thing was certain: humans had a way of rising to challenges, thinking creatively and overcoming obstacles. And Alex Soren and Alara Voss were ready to meet the probe again, prepared for whatever came next. For now, the colony slept peacefully under the glow of alien flora and soft starlight, unaware that humans had once again proven their strength, adaptability, and courage. The following morning, the Andromeda Reach colony awoke under a soft violet light cast by the distant nebula overhead. Inside her laboratory, Dr. Alara Voss monitored the containment network they had set up the day before. The alien probe was still trapped in the simulated systems, signals faint but persistent. Alex Soren entered the lab, carrying his toolkit and a fresh cup of synthesized coffee. "Morning," he said, setting the cup down. "I checked the containment logs overnight. It's still stuck in the loop, but I think it's figuring out something new." Lara nodded, her eyes focused on the holographic display. "Yes, it's trying to analyze human responses again, but I think we can use that against it. We just need to anticipate its next move." Alex frowned thoughtfully. "It's adaptive. If we rely only on technology, it'll eventually find a way around it. We need something unexpected, something it won't predict." Lyra's eyes lit up. Human intuition. That's what threw it off yesterday. Maybe we can create a scenario that combines both, technology plus unpredictable human decision-making. Alex smiled. "Exactly. Let's design a final test. We lure it into our controlled system, give it the illusion of a vulnerability," and then he paused, considering the implications. "Then we trap it permanently." For the next several hours, they worked meticulously. Alex modified the containment network, introducing multiple false paths and decoys. He created energy patterns designed to mimic weaknesses in the colony's systems, while Alara carefully adjusted the feedback loops to monitor the probe's reactions. "This has to be perfect," Alex said, wiping sweat from his brow. "If it detects the trap too early, it could escape, or worse, attempt something unpredictable in the real colony." Lara nodded. "Agreed, but I have confidence in us. Humans have a way of solving problems others can't. That's our advantage." By mid-afternoon, everything was ready. They connected the probe to the final network simulation. Almost immediately, the probe responded. Pulses of energy ran through the system like tiny rivers, testing every device, every connection. Alex and Alara watched silently, their hearts pounding with anticipation. "It's moving through the decoys," Alex whispered. "It thinks it's found a path, but it's actually moving deeper into the trap." Lara adjusted one of the feedback loops. Now it's noticing resistance. Let's see how it reacts. The probe's signals became more rapid, as if trying to calculate a new strategy. Energy pulses flickered across the network, testing boundaries. But Alex and Alara had anticipated its behavior. Every attempt to escape led the probe further into containment loops and false pathways. It's learning, Alex muttered. But we've learned faster. It won't escape this time. Hours passed as they guided the probe deeper into the trap. The alien device pulsed, fluctuated, and emitted tiny sparks of energy, but it remained contained. Alex noticed something remarkable. Despite its intelligence, the probe could not handle human unpredictability. Every time they introduced a small, unexpected change in the network, it paused, recalculated, and then struggled to find a new path. Ilara's eyes shone with admiration. Humans really are adaptable. The probe can analyze patterns, but it can't predict creativity or intuition. That's our strength. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the probe's signals slowed. Its energy pulses became steady and controlled, confined entirely within the containment network. Alex and Alara exchanged relieved glances. "We did it," Alex said softly. "It's trapped completely, and now we can study it safely." Alara smiled. "Yes, and more than that, we've proven something important. Humans have a unique ability to face unknown challenges. Technology alone isn't enough. Ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability matter more." Alex leaned back in his chair, exhaustion and satisfaction mingling in his expression. "I never thought a gate repair would lead to this. Capturing an alien probe. Life is strange sometimes," Ilara chuckled. "Life is always stranger than you expect. And sometimes, the strangest challenges bring the greatest rewards." She reached into her bag and pulled out the small, glowing device she had offered him earlier. "Now, Alex, here's your reward. I think you've earned it more than ever." Alex took the disc carefully, feeling its gentle vibration under his fingers. "It's beautiful, and it's strange. I still don't fully understand how it works." Lara nodded. "It's designed to amplify human abilities temporarily. Cognition, reflexes, problem-solving, even strength in small doses. But it's subtle. It doesn't override your mind, it enhances it." Alex smiled faintly. "So it's like a boost, not a replacement. That's more my style." Lara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Exactly. And you've earned it. Not just for the gate repair, but for everything today. You used your mind, your intuition, and your persistence to solve a problem no one else could." Alex held the device for a moment, feeling its potential. He could already imagine the possibilities, analyzing complex systems faster, testing new technologies with more precision, and solving problems that might otherwise take days or weeks. Yet he also understood the responsibility it carried. With great power came great care. "Thank you, Alara," he said finally. "I'll use it wisely and—" "I think we make a good team," Lara smiled warmly. "Yes, we do. Humans are capable of extraordinary things, Alex. Sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to think differently, to take initiative, and to act with courage." As evening fell over the colony, Alex tested the device. A faint wave of energy pulsed through him, sharpening his senses and focus. He noticed details he had never seen before, the subtle variations in the lab's energy patterns, the faint hums of distant machinery, the almost imperceptible shifts in the containment network. "It's amazing," he whispered. "I can feel everything. But it's not overwhelming. It's like my mind is clearer, faster, more aware." Alara watched, her eyes filled with pride. "That's the human mind, Alex. Sometimes it just needs a little nudge to reach its potential." For the rest of the evening, they continued monitoring the probe, ensuring it remained contained. Every pulse, every attempt at communication was carefully observed. The probe had been clever, adaptive, and persistent, but it could not overcome the ingenuity, teamwork, and determination of humans. Finally, as night settled over the colony, Alex and Alara stepped outside to enjoy the calm. The soft glow of bioluminescent plants lit the streets, and distant stars shimmered in the clear sky. The colony slept peacefully. Unaware of the invisible struggle that had taken place within its technological heart, Alex glanced at the device in his hand, feeling both its power and the reminder of what humans could achieve. "We did it," he said softly. "We stopped it. And we learned something too." Ilara nodded. "Yes, we learned that humans are capable of more than technology alone can achieve. Creativity, intuition, and courage. Those are the qualities that define us." Alex smiled faintly. "And maybe that's why aliens or probes find us so unpredictable. They can analyze, adapt, and calculate, but they can't replicate human ingenuity." Ilara's smile widened. "Exactly. And that's why you deserve this reward, Alex, not just for fixing the gate, but for showing what humans can do when they face the unknown." They stood in silence, watching the gentle glow of the colony and the distant stars. The probe remained contained, the threat neutralized for now. But both knew that new challenges would arise, new mysteries would appear, and humans would continue to rise to meet them. And in that quiet, peaceful moment, Alex realized something important. Humans had a unique power, one that no alien device could measure or predict. It was their courage, adaptability, creativity that made them extraordinary. The reward he held in his hand was not just a tool, it was a symbol of that power. And with it, he felt ready to face whatever the universe might throw at him next. The night settled over Andromeda Reach, quiet and calm. The colony slept under the gentle glow of alien flora, the distant stars shining above and within the lab. Humans had proven once again that ingenuity, determination, and courage could overcome even the most clever and persistent of alien challenges. The sun rose slowly over the Andromeda Reach colony, casting a warm glow across the quiet streets. Life moved on, almost as if nothing had happened in the past days. Hover vehicles glided along magnetic tracks, settlers moved about their routines, and the distant hum of the colony's energy systems filled the air. Yet inside her laboratory, Dr. Ilara Voss and Alex Soren were still awake. Monitoring the containment network for the alien probe, Alex stretched, rubbing the back of his neck. "It feels almost strange to have the colony moving on like nothing happened," he said. "We've just dealt with an alien intelligence trying to manipulate our systems, and it's like everyone is oblivious." Ilara smiled faintly. "That's the way it should be. Humans keep going, even when extraordinary things happen. The ordinary continues while the extraordinary is managed quietly. That's part of what makes us resilient." Alex glanced at the small glowing device in his pocket, the reward Ilara had given him. It hummed faintly, a reminder of the capabilities it provided. He thought back to the moment he had first touched it, feeling his mind sharpen, his reflexes heighten, and his awareness expand. It was more than a tool, it was a symbol of human potential, creativity and courage in the face of the unknown. Ilara's voice pulled him from his thoughts. "We need to finalize the probe analysis. Even though it's contained, we need to understand it fully. There's more to learn." Alex nodded. "Agreed. Let's see what we can discover. Maybe this intelligence has something to teach us, or at least confirm what we already know about human adaptability." They began a careful study of the probe, tracing every pulse, every fluctuation in its energy patterns. Despite its intelligence and persistence, the probe had remained trapped. Its signals were now predictable, constrained entirely within the containment network. Alex and Ilara observed how it attempted new strategies, only to be blocked each time by human ingenuity. "This is remarkable," Ilara said. "It tried to adapt, but the combination of technology and human unpredictability kept it contained. It's like we've created a scenario it can't escape. Humans aren't just reacting, we're anticipating and innovating." Alex smiled. "And that's exactly what makes humans strong. We don't just rely on rules or patterns. We improvise, we invent. And sometimes, that's enough to overcome even the smartest machines or probes." As they worked, Alex reflected on the days that had passed. A simple request to repair a neighbor's gate had revealed a far-reaching mystery. What seemed like a minor malfunction had led to a confrontation with a highly intelligent alien device. Yet, through careful observation, creativity, and teamwork, They had prevailed. Ilara glanced at him. You know, Alex, today shows something more than human ingenuity. It shows persistence, courage, and collaboration. You didn't just fix the gate, you faced the unknown, adapted, and protected the colony. That's extraordinary. Alex shook his head, smiling faintly. I was just doing what made sense. But I suppose you're right. Humans are capable of more than we sometimes realize. Ilara nodded. Exactly. And that's the message the probe has inadvertently confirmed. We are resourceful, adaptive, and capable of handling challenges no matter how unexpected. That's something no alien intelligence can fully anticipate. Hours passed as they finalized their analysis. The probe's energy readings were stable, its signals contained, and their network proved resilient. Alex tested the glowing device again, feeling the familiar hum of enhanced awareness. He could see patterns in the data more clearly, notice subtle energy fluctuations, and anticipate the probe's minor adjustments. The device didn't replace his thinking, it amplified it. This could be useful, Alex murmured. Not just for studying the probe, but for other problems in the colony. Engineering challenges, system optimizations, even emergency responses. It's like having a clearer perspective on everything. Lyra smiled. That's why you earned it. Humans have always relied on tools, but the greatest advantage is always the mind behind the tool. You've shown how effective that can be. For a moment, the two of them simply observed the lab and the contained probe. It pulsed gently, almost as if acknowledging its limitations. The alien device had tested them, pushed their skills, and revealed the strengths of human problem-solving. Yet, it was harmless now, confined safely within their controlled environment. Alex leaned back in his chair. It's strange. A simple gate repair led to all this: an alien probe, advanced technology, and now this realization about human potential. Ilara chuckled. Life has a way of turning small events into lessons. And sometimes, the most ordinary actions, helping a neighbor, fixing a gate, reveal extraordinary opportunities. That's part of the human story. Alex looked thoughtful. You know, I think the probe taught us something too. Not about humans, but about learning and adaptation. Even alien intelligence has limits. It can observe, calculate, and adapt, but it can't replicate creativity or intuition. That's uniquely human, Ilara nodded, her expression proud. Exactly. That's why humans are remarkable. Technology alone isn't enough. Ingenuity, courage, and adaptability are what make us thrive in the universe. As the sun began to set over the colony, the streets glowed softly under the bioluminescent plants that lined every path. The distant stars shone brightly in the clear sky, and the colony continued its daily life. Unaware of the events that had transpired, Alex and Ilara stepped outside the lab, enjoying the calm evening. The air was cool, filled with the faint scent of alien flora, and the hum of distant hover vehicles created a comforting background rhythm. You know, Alex said, glancing at Ilara, we've learned a lot in these past few days, but I feel like this is just the beginning. There will be other challenges, other unknowns waiting out there in the galaxy. Ilara smiled. And humans will meet them. We've proven that, even against clever, persistent intelligence, humans can adapt, create, and succeed. That's something no one can take away, Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride. It's good to know that. And it's reassuring to see that we're capable of more than we sometimes think. Even in the face of the unknown, we can handle it, Ilara gestured toward the small device in Alex's hand. And tools like this can help us, sure, but it's the human mind that makes the real difference. That's what allowed us to contain the probe. That's what allows humans to thrive anywhere in the universe. Alex smiled, watching the faint glow of the device. I'll make sure it's used wisely. Not just for this colony, but for whatever challenges come next. Humans have a way of rising to the occasion, and I want to make sure we're ready. For a long moment they stood together, observing the peaceful colony and the distant stars. The probe remained contained, neutralized, and their work ensured the colony's safety. Yet, the experience had left a lasting impression on both of them. Humans were not just survivors, they were problem solvers, innovators, and adaptable beings capable of facing the unknown with courage and ingenuity. As the night deepened, Alex reflected on everything that had happened. A simple act of neighborly help had led to a confrontation with alien intelligence, the testing of human ingenuity, and the discovery of a powerful new tool. But more importantly, it had reminded him of the qualities that made humans remarkable: persistence, creativity, courage, and adaptability. Alara broke the silence. You know, Alex, one day people might study this moment. Not the probe, not the device, but the fact that humans faced it and succeeded. That's the story worth telling. Alex smiled faintly. I hope they do. And maybe it will remind them that even ordinary actions, helping a neighbor, fixing a gate, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. The colony slept peacefully under the soft glow of alien flora and distant starlight. And in the lab, humans had once again proven their extraordinary potential, quietly shaping the universe through ingenuity, courage, and determination. As the night deepened, Alex looked out over the colony, feeling a profound sense of purpose. The probe had been contained, the threat neutralized, and the lessons learned would guide them for years to come. Humans had risen to the challenge, and they would continue to rise no matter what the universe presented next. And somewhere, deep in the controlled containment network, the alien probe pulsed faintly, a silent witness to the extraordinary resourcefulness of humans. Alex smiled. Not bad for a day's work. Not bad at all. So the stars shone on, and the colony slept, safe, secure, and quietly inspired by the courage and ingenuity of the humans who protected it.